This reminds me of how much hate I got for playing Altergeist at our last tournament. Why are people so negative towards control decks? In other card games, aggro is the strategy that gets more hate in general. Could be a nice discussion video. So, I got the perfect person for it. You don't like control decks, right? Not the biggest fan.
I'm totally biased against control decks. And of course, I think it like says a lot about people's personalities too. Just want to put that out there.
Wait, okay. So I guess what is a control deck to you?
To me, a control deck is a deck that is very active, but doesn't really do much. I mean, and fair enough. One can argue that combo decks are flashy, but they don't get the job done either sometimes. But to me, a control deck is just a deck that just kind of. It's a deck that just sits behind. It's that king at the castle that just sits behind his knights all the time. He shoots out orders to his knights, but he doesn't really make it. He doesn't really do anything. I can't really respect him as a leader. So.
Right. Okay. So you see control decks as like they're not doing the fighting. They're just like holding you off.
Basically, they're sitting there just holding me off. I mean, I'm coming at you crazy. Like, and I mean, fair enough, I'm crazy.
What are examples of the worst offenders?
Oh God. Altergeist would be one.
Yeah, they're the current one.
Actually, well, the worst one currently, I'd have to say, would be True Draco.
Yeah.
True Draco and then Altergeist. There are just certain decks you see online that you just hate to play. True Draco and Altergeist.
I know you're not a Paleo fan.
I'm not a Paleo fan, but Paleos are actually low on the list. I actually like Paleos. I'm not a fan of Control, but I actually like Paleos in a weird way. I know that sounds really weird. I think it's just because like you can do other things like come in the grave and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So just that mechanic itself makes them a little better.
Well, okay. So first off, for this video, we're gonna kind of be representing two different sides here. He likes, more aggressive combo decks. OTKs, crazy fast things,
Yeah,
high
OTK,
octane.
you gotta be in your face.
Decks. Played Cubics for like 2 years. But I tend to kind of like veer towards the middle. But for the sake of this video, I'll represent, control decks or whatever. So, here's the thing. Control decks, to me, are two categories. I think that they're like the fair, reasonable ones. That's where, for me, like Invoked comes to mind. Or even like Trick Stars, decks like that. Kind of like Burning Abyss is close. The decks I don't like are kind of the ones where it's like True Draco, Altergeist, the whole like stun ban, it's like Inspector Border stun, where it's like it doesn't let your opponent play. And that's kind of the distinction that I have. So I like, playing Dark Magician or Invoked. I don't really like playing Altergeists and like, just Floodgate. You can't play Necro Valley, Macro.
Right, and that's pretty much what my definition of control decks are. It's floodgates. I mean, it's fair enough. Some monsters are just walking floodgates. You understand that, but when everything is just a back row, and my biggest issue with a lot of control decks is that the things that are controlling you have nothing to do with the archetype. Have nothing to do with what's actually going on with the deck. Like Altergeist, I think Altergeist is a fun deck, not like a fun deck as in fun, but just a fun deck as in its concept and what they're meant to do. But a lot of the things that they use have nothing to do with them whatsoever. And granted, we can all say that's part of the creativity of the game. That's fair enough. But you realize a lot of times when you lose to these type of things, you're not losing to an Altergeist card. You're losing to like, oh, this person had goals and rivalry up together, or a mistake, anti-spell frames. So it's like you said, you can't do anything. So it's like now it's a solitary game where your opponent, who already wasn't doing much to begin with, is making you do less, and they're still not doing much. So it's just wasting time.
I find that I think that people hate the control decks because it's like every step of the game, it feels like you're just getting stopped.
Right.
It's like you have, okay, I need to summon this monster to start my combo, and they use Solemn Strike.
There's something. So you like,
or
or
I need to make this crazy board, so I make these monsters, and then they flip Torrential or Rivalry or something that just
something disruptive,
halts you, disrupts you. And I think that it's a Yu-Gi-Oh thing, but I feel like that kind of applies to a lot of games.
Oh no, I totally agree. I agree.
I know the guy in the tweet seemed to think that it doesn't, but in my experiences, like with video games and stuff like that, everybody kind of tends to dislike the defensive play.
Right.
Like because they find it slow and they find it boring and like not entertaining. At least like fighting games can sometimes feel that way. It's like
when you watching Justice 2 and they're just sitting there zoning. Somebody gets Green Arrow and just
people don't like it. And I think people don't like it because it's not entertaining, but also it's like, on the other hand, some would say like maybe that's like the smartest way to play. Like, you should just zone your opponent. Or in Yu-Gi-Oh, I guess, you should just stop your opponent from doing what they want to do so you can chip away and win.
Work harder. Work smarter, not harder.
Yeah, like work smarter, not harder.
And I totally get that concept, but it still doesn't. And fair enough, like I said, everything can be argued. Let's put that out there. Everything that we say can be argued. It's fine. I totally understand that concept. In fact, I don't disagree with that concept. It's just I still don't think it's fun. And granted, you're not making fun for your opponent. I totally understand that.
Yeah.
Damn it, fight me like a man. That's how I feel.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. It's like, it comes down to what you want out of the game. I think it really, because I mean, some people want to play this game for like, for the thrill and for the excitement, like playing a deck that's like, you know, combo centric.
Yes.
Is more exciting because you feel like you're getting to put more of the skill into it. You're going to like overwhelm your opponent and move fast. And I think what I've heard at least is like with control decks, it's like people see it as you're playing the game more like a job. Like, you know, you're just stop your opponent from doing what they're doing, kind of like slowly chip away.
Gotta do this, go through the motion.
Get the win that way. It's like the Floyd Mayweather kind of way to fight.
Oh yeah, like hit him a couple times in a round and then go out the rest of the round.
Yeah, and just kind of like
points for
super defensive.
Yeah,
but like it does win.
It
like,
does.
I don't know.
And the thing is, I know I'm totally biased when it comes to control decks. I'm also a person that played Dino Rabbit, and for any of you older players that actually know what Dino Rabbit was back in his prime, I'm also a person that played Dino Rabbit and got a couple tops with that. And actually, Dino Rabbit was considered a control deck because you sat on Logia, Doka, and you set like 4 or 5.
So what made you like it? Like what about Dino Rabbit was different?
Me personally was it was. And it's like I said, everything can be argued. It had combos to it that I liked. There was first off, Rescue Rabbit is like just an awesome card. I loved Rescue Rabbit when I first found out about it, so I had to play it. Rescue Rabbit was one of my favorite monsters when it came out. Iwazor Doka was another one. I mean, but once again, it's a control card because it's stopping your opponent from playing monster effects. And there was also Direct Gawaba and Tour Guide. So everything that you played was considered a combo piece as an extender to do something else to get into the theme of the deck. Now that can be argued. The same thing with a lot of the decks now, but. Also, I also feel like people also change in their play style as well. Like, I mean, I've always played combo decks. Like, I mean, I've been playing Junk Doppel since I knew it existed, or you know, and when I first got my few invites with it. But Dino Rabbit just stuck to me. Like, I'm putting drag Guava. I can summon this Guava, attack, get another Guava, make a combo. Like everything just seemed like you play.
It's like it's slow until it needs to be.
Exactly.
A little bit
I was able to put in pressure when I needed to be, as opposed to just sitting behind. And granted, another thing too though, back then, like Dino Rabbit really didn't play a lot of floodgates. It played back row, but it played like as far as the only floodgate it really played back then was like Fiend and Shane. Everything else was like Forbidden Lance or something like that, or like Chalice. It wasn't like, you know, just sit on this for 12 turns and you can't do anything. You can't out it. Something
interesting I've actually found with Yu-Gi-Oh! Now is that I feel like most of the top decks are kind of like veering closer to the center. Like, see, some people would say Goki's an aggressive control deck. But is it?
I mean,
actually?
Yeah. Once you U-Link, you're pretty much just control.
Because I feel like once you U-Link, it's just.
And not to mention now how they're doing it, like, and yeah, I see Goki as the combo deck, but that's only because you're just doing so much. The Goki's not a combo deck because you're doing so much.
Because you're doing a lot, but the end result is
is control.
Your opponent cannot target you, destroy you. You get a negation. You know.
Gumblar loop now. Everybody's doing the Gumblar thing. We take your hand away. I U-Link you and I take your entire hand. So I did a lot of things on my turn, and it's bad. I actually like Goki. I mean, I don't really think I have a preference over Goki over Altergeist. If I did, probably be Goki because they do a lot. But they both really are control decks.
See, that's what I always want to like ask people when they really hate on control decks or something. It's like, is you linking somebody with Gokis? Yes, it takes more steps, so maybe there's more skill involved. But the end result, is that any different than like, you know, setting 5?
Setting 5 and everything being responsive. Yeah.
Doing that. And in the other top decks right now, I mean, Sky Striker kind of is in the middle.
In the middle, I agree.
It's not like super aggressive. It's not like super defensive, but it's very like kind of grindy and resource. You know, you out resource your
Widow
opponent.
Anchor Turbo.
I mean, yeah, something like that actually. And I mean, and Trick Stars are kind of somewhere in that vein, I guess.
Trick Stars are closer.
I think they're closer to control.
Yeah, they like pure Sky Strikers is much more in the middle than Trick Star Sky Striker, which you would think since you know it's a mesh, you know, it's together. You would think it'd be more in the middle, but no.
And there's like Burning Abyss, for example, which I think is kind of close to the middle, like a little more aggressive when it wants to be.
Middle.
But like it's kind of close to the middle. I mean, they have Disruption, you know, Fairy Tale Snow, and like just they can kind of play defense when they need to. So I mean, I don't know if that's like, you know, Konami's design is trying to make these decks closer, you know, not so extreme. I don't know.
I can't even blame Konami for that. I just blame us as players, personally.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
And my thing is also, I think overall all decks can be considered quote unquote control. Cause like you said, I played Cubies for 2 years. Everybody knows the Cubies either have a huge boss monster that literally can't be outed. That's control. You know, it really is control, and I can admit that.
It's like tower protect.
It's like somebody. It's like dropping. Yeah, it's dropping towers and still making plays. What are you gonna do?
Your opponent can't really do anything.
So everything is an aspect of control. You're trying to end on this great board. Even like I've gotten quite a few invites with 60 cards. shit ton of combos, a ton of combos in that deck. But overall, I'm trying to make this board that's just amazing to where, like one time I went triple Omega and Trishula on my opponent. A lot of combos, but I mean, it's still control. I just took your entire hand so you can't play. So
which one takes more skill?
Oh Lord, combo decks take more skill. Especially now, like even with Goku, if you misplace where you put your monster, you lose. Or you make an unflattering board and it's easy to come back from that. Whereas,
sick him, viewers.
Please come at me, bro. I'm a thug.
I'm kidding. I mean, I think that there's something to be said of, the only thing, here's the thing that I do give control decks some credit for. I don't think that a lot of people do.
Okay.
They tend, people will say like, well, combo decks take more skill. You have to, memorize things and do things properly. But I mean, I do feel like maybe there's a reason why combo decks, at the end of the day, tend to get more tops. Like maybe it is because like I don't know. I think if control decks don't get as many tops, maybe it like the people who do manage to top with it are doing something right. Like maybe there is like this layer of skill to it. I mean, yes, it seems like you're just sort of sitting behind this fortress of things. You're saying, oh, no to this, oh, no to this. But I think with the amount of options that some crazy aggressive decks tend to have, it's like finding what to negate and knowing what to negate is like kind of a skill in itself.
It is.
Because when you're playing a faster paced deck, a deck that's got a lot of combo pieces, a lot of options, you get to like pick. You know, how do I want to bait my opponent out? True. How can I bait out all the back row? And it's very satisfying when you bait, your opponent out of everything and you still win. But then on the other hand, I think that it's that tug of war that kind of makes both players have to think, right? Like, I don't know.
I totally agree.
That's like, Silkatis can bounce cards, but it can only bounce once.
Once per turn, yeah.
So like, how will you bait out Silkatis? And me, let's say I'm an Alter Geist player, how will I decide when I want to use it? Yes. Like, I only get one, so
gotta make it count.
It can seem broken on the, on paper, like, oh, he's just sitting behind a bunch of traps, but like a lot of these things are still only once per turn, or they require other things to be on the field, and if I misuse them, then I can kind of get pierced through and still win.
What about them like True Draco? True Draco, like, everything you said I agree with except for with True Draco, because True Draco have... We sit behind our own floodgate cards because when they go, we pop stuff. We sit behind other generic floodgate cards, and if we run out, our monsters get more floodgate cards to the field, and we still don't do anything.
Yeah,
So it kind of
I don't like Draco.
It is an exception to the rule. Like True Draco in his bag, I've built True Draco twice since it's been released, even before the diagram reprint, because I thought I was gonna play it, and I realized I'm actually a good person, and I don't want to be that kind of guy. So. No.
So concluding thoughts. I mean, what would we say to people who, I guess, why do you think control decks ultimately get more hate, and is it warranted?
Well, we've already said it. It's strictly just because of the fact that most times they sit behind things like floodgates. Nobody, especially now, traps are slowly trying to become a part of the game again. Where for a while it was hand traps. Like think about Zoo format. Other than Solemn Strike, they didn't play anything else that was trap. Or really, I mean, they play Solemn Strike. They play. My Body's a Shield sometimes, but everything else was hand traps and crazy monster effects. And so we were in that format. And actually, even before that, if you remember, Satella Knights was the thing where Satella Knights played a lot of floodgates, and they triggered everything back, so they all able to reuse them. And in fact, Satella Knights won Worlds because of a floodgate. It wasn't because of the monsters; it was for the floodgate. So people hate somebody that sits behind defense. They're just sitting here and they're poking and jabbing. That's all they're doing all day because you're not really getting anything out of that.
So is the hate warranted? Like, is there really no skill in these?
Fairly, no. Fairly, the hate is not warranted. Because like you said, those who actually get invites with these stun decks or these control decks are obviously piloting them right. So I don't think it is fair hate. But as a biased person, then I would say yes, because I'm still gonna hate.
So it's subjective.
Yes, it's totally subjective. I mean, 100% subjective. I can totally admit to that because I'm that guy. I get you.
I mean, I think at the end of the day, it's like it's just two ways to play.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, I think definitely, never hate somebody for the deck they're playing. Like, I mean, you hate them in the moment. Obviously, you're sitting across the table from them, so always try to beat them and all that.
I still hate Alex for Ritual Beast.
At the end of the day, I think just as long as you don't, like actively bash people and stuff, like they just don't play these decks, then it's pretty much good, right? Unfortunately, I see why the control decks are a little more hated. They're a little slower, a little more annoying to face. But it's fine. Never feel like you can't play the deck you want to play.
Oh, definitely. Oh, yeah. I'm still going to like people, even though my friends make bad deck decisions.
That's it for the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Give it a thumbs up if you did. Subscribe, hit the bell, and you'll know about all our new videos. I think that's going to be it, right? Pretty good. So, yeah, we will see you guys in the next one.
Pass turn.